To begin with, we would like to acknowledge that tonight's event is taking place on the treaty territory of the Innu Credit and the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe, and the Huron-Wendat. We're very grateful to have the opportunity to work in the community. This film is eligible for the Toronto Platform Prize, presented by Air France. It's also eligible for the Gross People's Choice Award. Please vote online, tiff.net/vote. We'd like to thank Canology for providing us with this film this afternoon, and thank you to Swiss Films for their generous support. Now, this is Simon's second feature film and his first visit to TIFF. His first film, made 3 years ago, a film called The War. When we were looking at this film, we were very struck by the very particular imaginative universe that Simon creates in this film. It's very eerie, it's very unsettling, at times almost otherworldly, but its grasp of the material displays great confidence. It touches on so many ideas: faith and belief, religion and spirituality, science, the unknowable, and it creates a very special spell. In its uniqueness and originality, we felt it was perfect for the platform program. Please join me in welcoming Simon Jaquemet.
Hello. Yeah, of course, I'm very nervous and excited. But to begin with, I would like to introduce a part of the people who made this film possible, and I'd like to invite them on the stage. So we have first is Laura, who plays the daughter of the main character, and in a small but very important part. And then we have Tolga Bilsis, the producer of the film, and Aurelius Eisenreich, who was also a producer at Eight Horses, and Jonas Katzenstein, our co-producer from Germany. There will be a Q&A afterwards. I don't want to say much, but I'm actually nervous, but also myself, I'm really looking for. I've seen the film like probably 40 times in different stages, but I'm very curious to see it with such a big audience, and I'm looking forward.
I'd like to welcome back to the stage Simone Jaquemet. I guess I wanted to start just very simply talking about where the idea for the film came from. What was the inception of the project?
I mean, it's very banal. It's the first idea came from a very simple, like, kind of TV report, but a very that was about a woman, and that her fiancé got convicted for a life sentence, but it was kind of unclear if he claimed he was innocent, and this was very, very long ago, and it was just this character of this woman that stuck in my head, and I, at some point, maybe years ago, I said, okay, I'm still not forgetting this character, so I start to write something, and it started really from there.
And then it evolved. At what point did you start thinking about, because so much of it is like lives and dies on the casting. Her performance is so good. Where did that kind of come in when you were evolving it?
When I started casting?
No. I mean, when writing it, did you start getting somebody in mind, or did you read for her?
No, I didn't know her before. No. And I think maybe my imagination, like just more from the outside of the character, was a bit different. I imagined her always like having kind of curly black hair or something, and then we started casting. And the funny thing is that Judith's pictures that she has on the internet or whatever are really not, I mean, didn't appeal to me at all. And my casting director said, okay, but you have to meet her, And then we did the first casting, and it was quite clear quite quickly that she was the one. Yeah.
Do you feel like a lot of the way you make decisions in pre-production are driven by visual sense like that? Like when you start looking at something, it comes from the visuals first, or do you feel like?
Yeah, I think it's. I think I start rather really from the character, because even when I write often in first person, and I don't imagine so much a film in the beginning, but I imagine rather like either being the character or being like just seeing this, imagining this scene, how it happens in reality, and I be someone who stands close or walks, which is what the camera does quite often also. So,
do you then write in prose first before you start turning into script form, or is that just kind of what you use?
Yes, I'm not so sure how much I did, but I think I always write diaries of the main character very much in the beginning. Yeah.
Do you feel like there's pieces of this character that connect to you, to your own life from that, or is it really you have to transform your mind to get there?
I mean, I guess from the facts, she's very different, or quite different, because she's older, she's a woman and everything. But then I think from the character, I think of course she's quite close to me, I guess.
Yeah. Was that part of the description process of I guess what I'm getting is when you say you go into the first person piece, is it what would I do in this scenario, or is it very much like I now understand her, what would she do in this scenario? In as much as you're comfortable saying.
Yeah, no, I think it's really a mix, because when I start working with these characters, I know them so well that it's kind of a mix of someone else and myself, kind of. So it's hard to say. It's not. It's really a mix.
So then, stepping into the next phase, right? Going to once you've cast, once you have them, what is your process working with actors and translating that out into the screen?
I mean, I try to rehearse as much as possible. I think for this film a bit less than for my first feature, but and I do also a lot of casting. I mean, even when I like casting rehearsals. So even when I liked her a lot in the first casting already, we did like I think 2 or 3 more until I told her, okay, I choose you. And so these castings are already part of the rehearsal process, and then I don't know. I think maybe it was like 3 weeks of rehearsals, and I think this I think it's the most important, the preparation, because on the shoot I think you cannot do that much anymore if the character is not there.
Right. Because you have to come in as it on the day. Do you, when you do these like lengthy casting processes, do you end up doing kind of chemistry with other people? You know, like once you want to see how 2 actors fit, will you do callbacks with multiple people?
Yeah, to see her with, maybe to say, okay, you are almost, you're not confirmed, but you're almost the favorite, and then try her out with different variations of the husband and things like that, and the daughter, and
yeah. And then there is some more kind of big picture stuff going on. There's visual metaphors and things like that. Was all of that script stage, or are there pieces that come in as you're developing through rehearsal?
No, I mean it was all scripted, but it was all written.
Yeah,
it's very little improvisation or like added off afterwards. It was all like that.
Are you comfortable talking about kind of the meaning of the ending for you and this piece, or no?
Yes, I don't know if maybe I shouldn't say too much because it might spoil something for the audience. Or I mean, of course, I will not say, or it would be completely wrong to say why this monkey has woken up. I mean,
yeah. Do you feel like it comes from? I guess what I'm trying to get at is like a little bit about your religious background and your history with your interest in religion as it exists in the element in the script and the element of the film.
Yeah, I mean, my background is that I have no religious background at all, and I was raised by a bit hippie parents, so we didn't even one funny story was that at Christmas there was not what is called here it's the Santa Claus in Switzerland is the Christ
right.
The Christ baby or something, but we had like the Christmas elephant. so we had no religion, and but it was always interesting me, and it was a bit of a mystery for me how it could be so important. And then I started when I was starting to write, I really started to go to these kind of extreme churches like the evangelical and charismatic churches, and I really went there a lot, on like almost every Sunday for a long time. Yes, and I got really fascinated by it, and I couldn't understand it. I think in the end, what brings people to go there? Yes.
Is there an element of? Is any of the community involved in making it? Was any are there people from there, or there's anything? Or is it completely kind of recreated from what you've seen?
I mean, they were quite. I mean, I had some official interviews with the people from the community when I told them I'm doing a film, but they were not that happy about that.
Yeah.
And they wanted to read the script. And then one guy was actually helpful. He's quite strong Christian evangelical, and he read the script and he found it really, really terrible. But he gave me a really also good advice still how to make it more believable and right, and so this was quite fair of him.
Right.
But of course we even tried to shoot these concerts exist in Zurich even, and we tried to maybe shoot in the same location, but it was completely impossible.
Right. Did you was there some point where they realized you were kind of there for that reason instead of for a religious reason, or had they not noticed you kind of being around in the churches in the community?
Yeah, I think only at that I was just there as a visitor and also talking with people, but not really getting into like building up a relationship. This not, but of course, as soon as I contacted the priest officially and said, "Yeah, I'm researching for him," then after that, I think I still went maybe 1 or 2 times, but I tried that he would not see me or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Was there any, obviously there are details that you would change through those interviews, but was there any major script change or any piece of it that it really affected the story in some way?
I think I took it down a lot. I mean, I didn't have the script. I think what I wrote first was maybe a bit more one-dimensional, kind of anti-religious, and the more I got to know these people, I think that it got, I mean, it's still quite anti, you could say, but I think it got more balanced because I started to realize really the other side also, and yeah.
I mean, that's part of what we admired when we first saw it, was the complexity and the nuance of it. It doesn't, and I guess the reason I ask that is because, again, when you come back to the ending, there is something very religious about it, and it seems to exist inside that world instead of just criticize that world in a way. Yeah. But I wonder if that was always your intention inside the film, even when the script was much more anti-religion in a way.
Yeah, probably. I mean, or to come really again to the ending. I mean, the ending with the monkey, it has just one part of it is just really a very intuitive gut feeling thing that it just, the monkey just has to live in the end. It's not possible that it suffers and everything, and
right.
It's kind of a redemption. But then maybe the bit theoretical aspect of it, what I think I realized, that the film doesn't deal with belief only in the religious sense, but in the end it's about what happens when you're confronted with something that you cannot explain, or where you cannot say what is the right way to look at it. So, and then hopefully the end does that a little bit with the audience, because it's just presented like that, and you will not find an answer, not in the film and not anywhere else, but
Right.
you're forced to believe one explanation.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to open it up to the audience. Do you have any questions? It's a very, very quiet house. Well, yeah. Oh, sorry, I didn't see. So the question was: were you intentionally referencing Dollies Christ in the river scene?
No, I don't know. It's a painting or.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. But of course, it was obvious to me that she makes this. It looks like that, but I don't know the exact thing you mentioned. And this was something that was not written. For example, it was just how it happened, and we shot that, and of course we chose that image. Yeah.
Was there religious imagery you drew from at any point in the process, or no?
No, not so much. No,
Yeah.
I think the main inspiration came from the research on how these new modern churches, how they look, and
Right.
what they use as like these neon signs and everything. Yeah.
Right. Were there other kind of visual references you had for the film, like other films or other things you were thinking about?
I didn't have so direct references, but of course there are films which I like a lot, like Regadas films, no, not Posten, but Stellet Licht, and also Seidel films and stuff. Those are the films that I like, and of course they influence what I do. But I didn't have like references that I really looked at while writing or while preparing. Yes.
Yeah. Right here.
Sorry, I was thinking of from the beginning of the Q&A, but I would like to know the motivation of the director to do the film.
So the question was your main motivation. We talked about kind of the inception, but was there another piece of motivation you had?
I don't know. It's hard to say a motivation, because I don't have any other motivation or like other plans than the film, than what the film is. I guess I don't have an agenda, or I don't want to teach something very special. So I think the most honest thing to say, the motivation was something that was kind of following me for a long time, and when I started working on it, I found it more and more interesting, and like this, I think, okay, maybe it's also interesting for other people, and I guess it's just that.
In the back.
During the try to project as much as possible, but during the exorcism-ish scene, I'm not sure if that was what it was supposed to be intended, when they were trying to remove the demon from her. Some of the language used, I mean, obviously translated, so it might not be exact. I was wondering if possibly you thought it might, the terminology of when it's like, oh, I mean, I know it's used in religion a lot, but Jesus owns me, and then the devil has no control. If possibly Jesus owning her, like being her entire life, is kind of a reference to how that she's like a slave to Jesus, and then the devil in this case could possibly represent freedom of will.
So the question was about the possessive language used in the exorcism scene, and whether it's a reference to being a slave to Jesus and the devil referencing free will.
Yeah, maybe it's not so much a reference to that, because I think for this scene, I really rather, and that's also a scene where the guy, the evangelical guy, really gave me very direct feedback on it, how what they would say. So it maybe it doesn't reference these bigger themes, but it's rather I really tried to research and find things that are as accurate as possible what a priest might say in such a situation. And of course, I mean the church that is here is quite inspired by the Pentecostal thing, and there it's very this thing is very important that the Holy Ghost is and it's even not completely accurate if you look at it, because the idea is if you have committed yourself to Jesus, you have the Holy Spirit in you. And if you're very strict, some people would say it's not possible that a demon can possess you if you are a real Christian, which she is. And I think we worked around it a bit by saying it's not so direct, but it can be possible that the demon is maybe in your head, but it cannot be in your heart. And so it was rather this that was really influencing this whole speech, to try to make it as real as possible.
Time for a couple more. Let's go there. Yep.
I just want to say, wow. I have like,
Thank you.
What's your favorite part of making this movie?
Honestly, I of course I like all the parts of filmmaking, but I think I really like almost the most the writing part, and like quite the beginning of the writing, when you're just on your own and can kind of take all these inspirations and stuff and start to put something together, and kind of in a mix of just intuitive work and structural work, and trying to put it all together, and think that's really the moment I almost enjoy the most. And like also just following kind of crazy ideas and try, okay, what will happen. And this I really like. But then of course I like a lot. I mean, it's quite different, the film. Of course, I like this kind of when they go in this crazy club and everything. It's was fun to shoot, but very tough.
Right. We had a couple more right here.
Yes, and I was going to just comment that you're right. You're very close to reality of congregations that practice that type of Christianity. I attended a church that was very close to that, but laying on of hands. And what I found really interesting was that you caught at the beginning of the service, at the beginning of the movie, when she starts to grow up. Was this something that you witnessed yourself during the service, during the?
So the question was about the scene where she vomits early on in the movie, and whether this was something you witnessed.
No, it's very funny, because this scene was one of the very early inspirations that I had for the film also, and it's really a dream that I had. It was I had this character which was part of a crime story, and then I had one of these dreams that you start remembering over and over, was of a kind of a strange service, and there is one woman who doesn't feel well, and the priest kind of sees it and comes to her, and she has this breakdown. So it was a very early inspiration. And but in reality, I didn't witness anyone vomiting, but I witnessed, people crying a lot, and of course speaking in tongues and having breakdowns and all this. Yes.
We have time for one more. I can go there. Yeah.
Thank you.
So the question was, what's the significance of the swimming pool scene?
Yeah. I think it's really.
If any.
I think the husband thinks that he has to bring her to the place of the deepest sin or something, or almost to hell, and kind of give her this opportunity to really experience, more or less, sin really at the deepest, and then maybe she might rise up, and so that's the husband perspective. And then the other thing, it's hard to say. I think it's this underground lake or whatever. It came from I think a sentence that I wrote maybe in a synopsis, rather describing the mood. And then I thought at some point, why not have her really arrive at this point in reality where it kind of looks like under everything there is just kind of a black ocean under everything. But of course it is also, it just means hell. It's what she sees. And then the realistic interpretation could be, okay, she passed out and almost drowned, and it was the vision that she had or something. Yeah.
Well, I think we got to turn the theater over, but I want to thank you so much for coming and for bringing the movie to us.
Thank you.